No. Canadians, Peruvians, Mexicans are not Americans. And then everyone trying to tell you, oh, well, it's the continent of America. We're all American. It's the Americas. They're lying to you. They're playing silly semantic games to try to fool you into crushing your nationalist American spirit. Hello, I'm Jake Huffaker, and you're watching a new series. This is episode 1 of something I'm calling Morally React. Today, I'm going to be reacting to, well, The Bad Bunny Show. And it's well named because it was bad.
Latino. Hoy se ve.
And I want to start by saying, I like Bad Bunny. I lived in Puerto Rico for a while, I've mentioned this before. I think he's an excellent musician. And I actually have 3 different levels of analysis on this. The first one is not actually a critique of Bad Bunny per se, but of pop culture and of modern Americanism and of modern New Worldism, of the degeneracy, of the fact that this music is not promoting family. It's not promoting goodness or truth or God or beauty. It's inherently sexual. At times it's even homosexual. And it's fairly grotesque at moments. And then I don't want to rag on Bad Bunny too hard. And so that's a critique that I have of Sabrina Carpenter, of Nicki Minaj, of basically all modern music, of modern television, of modern movies, of even going back as early as the 70s and 60s. The sexual revolution, which has permeated everything, has had 0 good outcomes. And this is a perfect example of it. You listen to the song that he chooses to start with. Says, my aunt asks me, you got all these girlfriends. He's got one, tomorrow another one. Like, what is that? They'll take him to the VIP. That's how he's never gonna marry him. Take a picture, say cheese. It's like, well, what is this? And he goes on to name a bunch of girls that he likes to date. And then he starts talking about how he's got a Dominican, he's got a Mexican, he's got all these different girls. And later there's a wedding in this video, which is excellent. And a lot of people were quick to point out that, well, a lot of this video actually is pro-family. And there are moments that are phenomenal. But the whole message is vastly undercut by the sexuality that is immediately demonstrated by shitting on marriage. And for what reason? Why? Why would you do this? Well, because it's popular, because it sells, because what people want to listen to, whether it's in English or in Spanish. It's not a cultural problem within a single area. It's a unified global problem that we're seeing lately. He's got this wedding ring here. But the message is anti-marriage. This is not a pro-marriage song. And he switches songs and... What is this? And you got these women shaking their asses. And it's like this is just tasteless. It's classless. There's no need for something like this. And so and you say, oh, well, like do you not like attractive women? Do you not think shows with hot women are good? It's like, well, depends what you mean by that. It's not gay to point out that children are watching this. It's not anti-women. It's not misogyny. It's just family units to recognize that this is the Super Bowl. This is not some 18-plus strip club. But that kind of dancing is the kind of thing that you would see at a place like that. It's not the kind of thing that you want your 7-year-old daughter to grow up watching. And you want your 7-year-old boy to grow up being shown. We have a serious problem with sexual degeneracy. And this kind of thing, again, it's not unique to Bad Bunny. It's not like this show was uniquely bad in this way, that they chose a terrible artist for this reason. This artist is terrible along this idea, and they all are. And he goes on and makes this song, and there's no need for this. What is that? Why? Why? Well, we all know why. It's because of what sells. But just because it sells doesn't mean it's good. We need to have some decorum, some class. And this is not that. Goes on. Starts another song. This is an excellent song. I love this song. It's a great song. It's not appropriate for children. Neither was that scene. Look at that. Just a moment, but there's no need to be showing these two men grinding on each other like that. Again, this is a family event. This is the Super Bowl. This is the American unifying event. And in the middle, you have to be subversive with something like this. It's not reasonable. It's overt sexuality. It's not appropriate. And he goes on. He gives a little speech. Here's the excellent part. I love this part. There's an actual wedding. And that's so uplifting. It's so phenomenal to see an actual wedding on our TV, to see a couple in love. That's wonderful. And if that was the messaging of this, I would be so happy. But he started the thing with Titi Me Pregunto. A song about how he's never going to get married. Never, never, never. Because he's got too many girlfriends. He's having too much fun. It's counterintuitive. It's undercut the whole narrative. This is phenomenal. But it's just not what's actually happening here. It's subversive, and it's these kinds of marriages that is the reason why you see half of marriages fail. Because the marriages are interjected with degeneracy. And that's no good. I love marriage. And I love love. And I wish that was what this video was about. But it's just not. We have this lovely scene. And then this is the best part. You've got an English song that's done in a Latin style, and that's a great way to show assimilation, to show unification, to show the melting pot, the mixing of American cultures into an assimilated American English. There are, 30 to 50 million Spanish speakers in America? And like 300 million non-Spanish speakers? And that's the problem with the Super Bowl. This is not the World Cup. This is not CONCACAF. This is not the Olympics. This is an American event, and America is for Americans. And the American language is English. And when Bad Bunny says, oh, well, my first language isn't English, but that's okay, because America's first language wasn't English either. It's like, what are you even talking about? What, the Native Americans? The Indians? It's like, well, that wasn't America. That wasn't this nation. That was a different nation that's been since conquered. But the American founding documents, the Constitution, the Articles of Confederation before the Constitution, the Declaration of Independence, the state constitutions, all of this idea is a fundamentally English culture. And of course, language barriers create cultural barriers. Of course they create cultural barriers. If you can't talk to me, then we cannot have cultural transmutation. It's an anti-American idea to have the number one American sporting event be 90% non-English. And this moment is phenomenal. They have a wedding. I love that. They have Lady Gaga come out. I love that. This is great. And she does it in a Latin style. The integration, the assimilation, the melting pot of taking in the best parts of all these cultures. This is what America is supposed to be. And it's right there in the middle, and it's sprinkled in to try to lure you in to go, oh, well, it is pro-American, it is pro-family. But you don't forget all the degeneracy that happened before, all the anti-American, anti-nationalist language destruction that was happening earlier. And this is great. This is my favorite part. And it's a great song. It's not about, oh, I'm not going to get ever married because I have all these girlfriends and I'm going to have all this sex and I'm going to be all this whatever I want to be. It's about being next to you. It's a love song. This is lovely. And I wish the whole thing was like this. Keep going. So they dance together for a little bit, and that's nice as well. And then they have the continuing part of the wedding. And this is great. The cake, everybody dancing, everybody in white, everybody classy. Children, adults. This is a great American image. It's a great cultural image. It's a great family-based image. But it's just not what the majority of the video is doing. And it's very strange. It's very misplaced. Then they've got a bunch of people dancing together. This is, again, it's great. It's, young people meeting and enjoying their time. You get another song. Great song. Should have been in English. What is this? This is an English show. An American culture. It's an English culture. Why isn't it in English? Puerto Rico. And I hear the idea of trying to counter-program. But the Turning Point USA thing is ridiculous. It's just ridiculous. First of all, Kid Rock, that doesn't solve your degeneracy problem. Kid Rock is just as bad. And although, yes, you have a thing in English, but you're fleeing the institution. You cannot cede the ground of the Super Bowl to the left. You cannot accept that they are going to dominate culture forever. You have to fight back within the institution. You can't segregate. You can't separate. You can't say, oh, well, there will be a liberal show and a conservative show. Oh, well, there will be a Spanish show and an English show. Oh, well, there will be a Puerto Rican show and an anti-American nationalist show and a globalist show and then a true American patriotism nationalism show. You can't do that. You cannot bifurcate our culture. That's what the left wants to happen. It's what the left wants us to do. But at the same time, they do this thing where they say, oh, well, why are you even noticing it's in Spanish? Why do you even care it's in Spanish? That's weird. Why are you being all culture warrior? Why do you even care? I thought you liked the music. And I said, well, yeah, I like Bad Bunny. I think he's a great musician. I think he's a great performer. I think this is very well performed. I think this is very well produced. I think this is a great show. And it would be great for something other than the Super Bowl. But the Super Bowl is supposed to be an American patriotism time. You start the thing with the national anthem. And this politicization of it, and they say, oh, well, the right politicized it. And it's well true. Turning Point did explicitly politicize it. But the anti-nationalism messaging of this idea of first having it in Spanish to begin with, but then as we get further into the video, it's like, no, actually, we didn't politicize it first. You guys did. And they say, oh, why are you noticing? Republicans pounce. It's like, no, actually, we didn't pounce. You guys did something crazy. And we're not crazy for pointing it out. We're not fighting culture wars. We're not separating from the movement. We're not distracting from the real things when y'all went crazy. This is about the trans movement. Well, it's only 1%, 2%. Why do you care? Why is the right so obsessed with culture wars? Because y'all went crazy. It's about the sexual revolution. Like, oh, all this premarital sex. So it's like, well, now mass divorce. Now there's porn addiction. Now there's a destruction of what it meant to be an American. Same thing happened with immigration. Same thing that happens with all of these culture war problems that they say, why are you noticing? Why do you care? I care for the same reason you care. You did something crazy, and I just want my America back. It's not crazy for me to notice what you did. And they have this scene. Some people thought that this kid might have been that kid from the anti-ICE propaganda. It wasn't. The fact that people thought it was makes us, it's almost certainly an anti-ICE symbol going on here itself. Very, striking. And he goes back into the singing. And this was a great moment too, where they have another singer come in. And it doesn't matter what race or ethnicity he is, but he's clearly Latino. And he could come out and sing in English. And that would be a great way to integrate the cultures, to assimilate the cultures, to melting pot the culture. I keep going back to this idea that it's not that I hate other cultures. It's not that I don't want any influence from other cultures. America takes the best things from other cultures, but it has to make them into a unified American culture. You can't have this language barrier happening within a single country. And so you see this guy and you go, oh, what's he going to sing in? Lady Gaga sing in English? Nope, Spanish. And that's just not good for our culture. It's not unified. Again, why are you noticing? No, I'm not weird for noticing. Y'all are weird for doing it. And then he goes into this, Puerto Rican nationalism idea, where one of the big tenets of this thing is the failing power lines. And anyone who spent a lot of time in Puerto Rico knows that they don't have a lot of power. Like they frequently just their power just goes out. And it happened to me in the middle of meetings. I would just lose power. And it's a strange thing to elevate about Puerto Rican culture, especially when he's doing such a Puerto Rican nationalist idea. And one thing to notice is this flag, it's got the lighter blue in it, which means it's the explicitly Puerto Rican nationalist flag. So this is an extremely nationalist moment. And I actually have no problem with nationalism. I'm a nationalist. It'd be strange for me to be like, oh, well, rules for thee, but not for me. You can't be nationalist, but I can. No, I like nationalism. I like Puerto Rican nationalism. But I don't like it during the American Super Bowl. That's weird. And I don't like the fact that he has this rules for thee, but not for me. He can be as nationalist as he wants. But as we go on, this video is fundamentally opposed to American nationalism. It stands in direct opposition to the American nationalist movement. But he comes out with this powerful Puerto Rican nationalism moment. And with the power lines being extremely centered, he climbs up on them. And he's up there singing and rapping up there on the power line. It's a great song. I actually recommend everybody go back and just watch the show for themselves all the way through. It's really good. It would be great for CONCACAF or something. It's just not American. And this is an American day. And I hear people saying, well, he is an American. Puerto Ricans are American. It's okay. Yeah. But there's also an extreme distinction. When you're there, when I was talking to people, they'd be like, oh, well, you're American. And I would say to them, I'd be like, well, you are too. And they were like, yeah. But there's a difference. And his Puerto Rican nationalism elevates that difference. When he says it's okay, you have 4 months to learn Spanish so you can watch the Super Bowl. It's well, that's not an American movement. It's explicitly anti-English, which is our language, which is the American language. And so, yes, he has an American passport, but you can be American by legal status and not be culturally American. And he makes that point very clear with his Puerto Rican nationalism. And fair enough. But then don't claim to be American while doing it. And promptly, right on cue, they bring out all the flags from all these different countries into the American Super Bowl. You missed an important moment there. Listen to that.
God bless America.
There he is. God bless America. I love that. God bless America. It's a thing I say every day. God bless America. But it's almost an Orwellian moment because he doesn't mean the same thing that I mean. When I say God bless America, I obviously mean the United States of America. And everyone knows this. This is why they lost their minds when Trump tried to rename the Gulf of Mexico to the Gulf of America. Well, if we're all Americans, if America just means whatever, and it's a loosey-goosey, the whole hemisphere, the continent of America, the Americas, well, the Gulf is in that continent. But everyone knows what America means. And when the left pretends it's not what they mean, They are dismantling the word, and they're trying to play these word games. Gosh, they're so good at these word games. They're really tricky. They're really clever. And they're so subversive the way that they modify their speech. To say one thing and then slowly push you in the opposite direction. Cthulhu swims slowly, but he always swims left. He says, God bless America. And I'm like, whoa! Amen, brother. I agree. And let's see where he takes that. What does he mean by that? Chile, Argentina, Uruguay, Paraguay, Bolivia. He goes through and he lists all of the countries. Costa Rica, Nicaragua. United States is just one of the places he listed. It's just one of America. God bless America. But what does America mean? It means all of them, right? Canadians are just as American as Americans are. Mexicans are just as American as Americans are. Chile, Argentina, Bolivia. They're all just as American as Americans are, right? Right? No, actually, American means something. But if you dismantle these borders, if you dismantle this nationalism, if you insist that we're all one people, one order, one country, one continent, one America, hate is stronger than love. I mean, love is stronger than hate. Love is stronger than hate. Why do you hate? Why are your borders so hateful? It's an anti-nationalist movement to insist, to take this idea, to take this American patriotism. It's the idea that I love America. It's my country, it's my people. And you say, well, we're all Americans. You're taking a semantically overloaded term, and you're dismantling that term. You're making an over-inclusivity to the point where it doesn't mean anything. You can't enforce the borders of America if we're all American. You can't say, well, that person is or isn't American. It's the same idea as no one's illegal on stolen land. It's like, what does that even mean? Nothing. It doesn't mean anything. It's not coherent. It's not conclusive. It doesn't mean anything. And he's got this idea, this anti-American nationalist idea, which is the central message here. So he says them all.
On my motherland, mi patria, Puerto Rico.
And then we see the football. And it says we're all Americans. It's like, no, actually we're not. Some people are American and some people aren't. But that's the message he's got here. The only thing more powerful than hate is love. I don't hate anybody. I love other cultures. I love other nations. In fact, I want these other nations to be nationalist. And he's got this weird symbolism where he goes from Puerto Rican nationalist, which more power to you, not in the Super Bowl, not during the American event, but more power to you. And then he combines that with this anti-American nationalism. This idea that Americas are all unified. It's a destruction of American exceptionalism. It's a destruction of American exceptionalism. He doesn't want you to think that you're special. He doesn't want you to think that your culture matters, that your language matters, that your people matter, that your history matters, that your entire idea of what it means to be an American. He's just as American as you are. A Peruvian just as American as you are. A Canadian, a Mexican, anybody along this whole thing. We're all one America, one people. And this new world Machiavellian, Orwellian disaster is just to lie to you. It's to erode your trust in yourself and in your people. America is exceptional. God bless America. Never forget that. Thank you.